You are watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftacademy.com. www.netsoftacademy.com.
Welcome back to the AZ-104 exam prep. Now, in this video, we will learn how to configure secure access to virtual networks in Azure. Here, we will learn what is NSG, how to configure it, how to configure the rules inside NSG. We will also deploy Bastion, which will help us to securely connect with our resources inside our private network. Then we will discuss how to configure service endpoints to Azure resources, as well as we will create private endpoints to Azure Platform as a Service. So let's get started. All right, so now let's see what NSG is all about. NSG stands for Network Security Group. It is a mechanism which allows you to either allow or deny the traffic or the network traffic to flow inbound or outbound through a specific port. This is what the functionality is. So if you search for NSG, this is where you can create NSG as well as ASG. ASG is Application Security Groups. This is Network Security Group. I already have two NSGs, one for VM1, one for VM2. So let me show you the setup. I have one resource group. Then I have two networks, one in Canada, one in France. Both networks are connected. And then I have two VMs, one in Canada and one in France, right? And two networks. And both networks are connected, so these machines can talk to each other. All good. Now, if I go to machine number 1 and copy the public IP, and then go here, this is machine number 2, I don't care about it right now, RDP, and put the IP address of machine 1, as you can see, I can connect to it. Password 1234. Yeah, I can connect. Now, why I am allowed to come from my public domain? This is my personal laptop, and I'm trying to connect with a machine in Azure. That is, I'm using my public IP, then I'm traveling to the data center, and then I'm connecting with the machine because the port is open and RDP is allowed. So how can I check it? If you go to network setting of your VM, you will find that a network security group, NSG, is assigned to this network card. And RDP is open. Now I will delete it. This is how you create rules, by the way. And that's it. NSG is all about creating inbound port rules, outbound. Inbound means the request coming from public domain to the VM. Outbound means when the VM wants to go to the outside network or public internet. Now, let's try again. RDP, connect. And here we go. Now it will keep trying for some time, and then you will get the error. Why? Because I can reach till the public IP. Yes, I can reach to this public IP. But beyond this public IP, NSG is not allowing me to get in. How can I say I can reach this public IP? Because you can go to command prompt and trace route, type tracert, and put this IP. You will see that you can reach the public IP of that data center in, let's say, France or Canada, wherever your machine is. But beyond that, there will be no reply because NSG is stopping you. So here you create rules. Now, how to create rules is pretty simple. You click on rule. You decide inbound or outbound. You click on inbound port rule. Then the first thing is source. Now, do you want to declare a specific type of source, which means you're telling Azure that only allow if the request is coming from a specific source? Or you can say any. Any means the request can come from anyone. It doesn't matter. If I say IP address or my IP address, or service tag or application security group. That means I'm pinpointing a source. It can be an application security group as well. Let's say any. The next is port. So when you say the request can come from any source, but it should come from a specific port. Let's say this. Now I am blocking all the other 65,000 something ports. Only one port is allowed. If you say star, star is the wild card here. Means any port. Now destination. Here you can pinpoint the destination as well. You can say go to a specific machine. I will type, let's say, 10.0.0.4. That means it will be allowed if I want to go to this machine. Otherwise, I cannot. Right? Again, if I say star, I will not put anything here. What was the default? Let me go back and check. Oh, you just select any, basically. Destination any, and then you can change it. Otherwise, you have to enter IP address. So I will go back to any. Now, service. Which service the person is using who wants to request to get in? If you want to open HTTP, HTTPS, SSH port, like what do you want? I will say RDP. That is 3389. So I want to go to 3389 port number. If I say HTTP, then port number 80 will be open. If I say HTTP, then 443, and so on. As you can see, all 65,000 services are not given here. What if you have a custom port? Well, in that case, find custom. Here, click custom and then type whatever port you want. Even 3389 will work. Okay, this is just a shortcut. Then, do you want to deny this or do you want to allow this? Maybe you will create two rules. You will deny just one port and open everything else. That is your whitelisting and blacklisting. So you have options. I will allow. Now this is priority because rules have priority. If a rule have high priority, that will be validated first. And if that rule is actually triggered, then Azure will not go to the next rule. Now, it starts from 100 and it goes to 4096, the priority. So start from 100. Now here's a recommendation. This comes from experience. Never give 100 as priority, because if you put 100 and then the next rule is 101, then 102 and 3 and 4 and 5 and so on. In future, if you want to move certain thing or certain rule to the top priority, you have to shift every rule 1 point down, because a new rule will come to 100. You cannot have two rules with the same priority. This is why it is recommended to always leave gaps in your priority. So I will say, let's say 1000. If there is a new rule which must have higher priority than this, then I will give it 990. Then even higher priority, I will give 880 or something like that. I will give gaps between it. So RDP will be just the name of it. You can add description and add. All right, so the NSG is now added and the ports will be open eventually. It takes few seconds. So if you just added the rule, give it some time before testing it. Here, added. Now let's test. Done. I have connection. Perfect. Pretty easy. So this is NSG. And similarly, you can create a group. If, let's say, you have multiple machines running some web application, you can create application security group. It creates a group to protect those applications running on the machine. Now, as you can see, I have two machines. Then I have public IP, and I open RDP port so that I can connect to it. If I can connect to it, that means anyone else will be able to connect. And there are so many automated bots crawling all over the network, finding open ports and valid public IP addresses. They will eventually find your machine. In short, what I'm saying is that these two machines are exposed to public internet. Not good. It is okay for a quick demo, but not good for protection or production, sorry. So what I can do? Well, you can use a logic called jump box. What if you create a box which is protected from all the boundaries and you are allowed to connect with that box safely, securely? But from that box, you can connect with any other resource also in a secure way. This jump box is protecting all the internal resources from public exposure. And this is where Azure Bastion comes in. Azure Bastion is a service which have a public-facing end and a private end. The public-facing end provide secure connection to all the private resources without exposing them to public. So Bastion becomes your line of defense. Now, before that, what I will do, I will remove the public IP because I don't need any more. Bastion will provide me the connection point. So my public front end will be the Bastion. So I will go to my network. I will go to ipconfig. I will say I don't need any public IP and save it. Same thing for VM2. I will go to VM2. Then I will go to a network, ipconfig. I don't need public IP. All right. Now both public IP are free. In this case, you can also manage public IPs. If public IPs are not being used by anyone, you are allowed to delete it. So let's go ahead and delete these public IPs. Why don't need it? Now, while this public IP is deleting, let's go back and see. Yes, the connection is gone because there is no front end. Perfect. Now, NSG, again, I'm opening RDP, but to connect with the machine via Bastion, you don't even need to open public ports because your Bastion connects with the machine privately. You connect with the Bastion via public IP, then once you are in the Bastion, Bastion connects with your machines privately. So let's do that. If I go to my NSG, then I go to network card, click on this network card, or I can go to network card as well, NSG, and I say none. Means I'm removing the NSG as well. I'm not opening any ports. Same thing for another machine as well. So please, when you are reviewing these videos, focus only on the concept part. Don't focus on the setup process because I will teach you everything step by step. So don't focus on the VM creation. Just focus on the concept. So I'm just creating the setup for that to show you the concept. I'm going to remove the NSG as well. And once you practice with all these tools and services again and again and again, yes, configuring this, connecting dots will become second nature for you. All right. Now, ports are not open. No one can connect with this machine from public. These machines are not at all exposed. They are in private environment. No one can connect with it. See, no public IP. Now, in order to connect with this, you have to use Bastion. And for Bastion, first you have to create subnet for Bastion. I know I lost the connection. It's okay. Because Bastion need a particular range of private IP address, reserved private IP addresses, which Bastion will use to create a connection to your machine privately. Now, Bastion as a service needs to be created in some region or virtual network. So if I create Bastion in Canada Central and put that Bastion in this VNet, that doesn't mean that Bastion cannot be used to connect with VMs in France. Bastion just need line of sight to your resources, to your VMs, and it can connect. If the line of sight is there, line of sight means connection is there, Bastion can connect with your resources. So you don't have to deploy 2 Bastion. Or if you have, let's say, 6 virtual network instance location and you need to now deploy 6 Bastion, no, that is not correct. So I will deploy it in Canada Central, let's say. So I will go ahead. This is the step number 1. You will go to the virtual network, click on subnet, then click on add subnet. And Azure understand that there is a service called Bastion. And this is why if you click on subnet purpose, it will show you, do you want to create a subnet for Azure Bastion? Select that. A name will be derived from that selection, that is Azure Bastion subnet. As you can see, it selected /26, not /24. By the way, you can select 24 as well. You can select 25 as well. But you cannot select below 26 because Bastion need minimum 50 IP addresses, private IP addresses. I know it is 64, not 50, because if you go one step beyond it, it will go below 50 IP addresses. You cannot have fractions in IP addresses. So yeah, some IP addresses will be wasted, but it's okay. So you'll select that and click add. That's it. Don't worry about another security advanced features. This is 104, that is intermediate certification. Added. Second step, you add or create Bastion. So you search for Bastion. This is a service, expensive one. So once my demo is done, I will immediately delete it. And you should also do this. If you are practicing multiple scenarios, don't keep resources running which you're not using for your demo. Delete it. Resource group, demo, name, NITA, Bastion, Canada Central. Do I need high availability? No. Tier, standard. There are multiple tiers which give you multiple use cases. Premium gives you maximum of 50 session count or instance count. And this is why you need at least 50 free private IP addresses. Now, Bastion is giving you a warning that, hey, if you want 50, make sure you have at least 50 IP addresses. That is /26. Well, I have it. And this warning will go if you select your network, because Bastion will be able to find the subnet and it will be able to find the available IP addresses. And even if it doesn't go, don't worry, just a warning. I don't know why they put cross here. They should put exclamation mark here. Okay. Or you can use basic. Basic gives you 2. Again, you select your virtual network and look, specific subnet is automatically selected. Okay? And even if you don't create this subnet, yeah, Azure allows you to create one at this point. But that's fine. This is your backend, private IP addresses. Now, let's configure the front end. Public IP. Do I have any existing public IP? The answer is no. So I will let Bastion create a public IP automatically. And that's it. This is how easy it is to establish Bastion. Oh, I don't need it. Okay. So whenever you fill up your template, go back and verify everything, because sometimes when you make changes, other variable also changes. Basic, okay. Advanced, no need to change anything here. These are advanced things, no need to add tags. Click create. Now you wait for the Bastion to deploy. All right, so the Bastion is now deployed. And I also deployed one storage account, which will come in handy to learn next topics, right? So Bastion as a service is deployed. You don't have to go to Bastion now in order to use it. Well, Bastion is used to connect with the machine. So from anywhere in the world, you just need a laptop and internet connection. You will sign into your Azure portal securely, of course. Then you will click on the virtual machine you want to connect with. Then on top, you will see connect, but not via RDP. Now connect via Bastion. Now here you give your credential to Bastion, and Bastion will take it to sign in on your behalf. So NITAADMIN. Okay, click on connect. Now your browser may block the pop-up. So allow it and say that Azure is again safe. Connect again. Allow clipboard so that you can copy and paste your content, and you are connected. Do the same thing with VM2, let's say. All right. NITAADMIN. Password 1234. Click on connect, and you are connected. Now, both machines are connected. This is VM1, VM2. And these machines are not connected directly from internet or public. Bastion is in between to protect them. So all the attacks will be taken by Bastion. And Microsoft will not do it for free. And this is why Bastion is pretty expensive, right? But you don't have to keep Bastion always there. Whenever you want to connect, you can deploy Bastion. All it takes is like 10 minutes to deploy it, do your job, and you can even remove it or make it a part of automation. So now we know what Bastion is, and we are connected. Let's move to next topic, that is endpoints, especially the service endpoint and private endpoints. Now, I will give you an environment first. All right, so now pay attention. I have a service. Don't fixate on storage account. There are many more services on Azure. Only focus on the point I'm trying to make. I have a service, and in this service, this is storage account. That is obvious that this service will allow you to store data, right? In this proper full-on service, I have some sub-services. I have container, and I have file share. Inside my container, I have a picture, just a random picture. Then inside my file share, again, I have, if I browse it, a picture. All right, so this will be my data. Right now, this storage account is publicly visible. It is exposed. Anyone can connect with it. Of course, they need to know the name of this account, plus they need to know the credential and all that stuff, but at least it is exposed, right? This means if I go to container, open it, this is my picture, property, and this is the URL of my picture. Now I'm opening a new tab. I'm not going to my VMs. This is my computer, which pretends to be, not pretend, which is actually on public domain. Paste it. And as you can see, I can see the picture. It's just a screenshot. I can see it. If I do this in VM1, let me go to a browser and type it. I can see it here. VM2. It's so slow. And I can see it here as well. So that means it's publicly visible. Now, for the file share, yes, you have to open a specific port and then you connect. But in this case, I will connect my file share with both machines. So I will keep the picture open and also the file share. So if you click on the file share and you want to connect with it, well, you just click on connect. and it will give you a script to connect it with Windows, Linux, and Mac. Of course, you can also connect with any other machine, even your laptop if you want. So show the script. But in that case, you have to make sure that from your laptop till this Microsoft service, your port 445 is open. If your organization choose to close this port, then you cannot connect with it. Now, for VM1 and VM2, this port is open because these two machines are already in Microsoft Azure ecosystem. So I will copy the script, and then I can minimize it. You got the point here. OK. All right. All right. So let's go to PowerShell. Again, this part is not important. I'm just showing you something. I'm building the premise here. And I pasted that command over here and over here as well. OK, I'm connected. I can close it now. And if I go to my File Explorer and go to this PC, here you go, my file share. And the image inside it is visible. I can double-click it and see it. It's a different screenshot. The point is, my file share is visible, my container is visible, my storage account is visible to everyone. I did it twice, so don't worry. It's just saying that it is already connected. Boom, here. All right. So now you will understand what is the use of private endpoint and service endpoint. Now, what if you want VM number 1 to be able to connect with the whole service, which means VM1 should be able to see everything inside my storage account, containers, your file share, table, queue, whatever it is. In that case, you will use service endpoint. Service endpoint is the mechanism of connecting your service, the Azure service, with your resources in a network privately. Again, I was too slow in this definition. Let me give it again. Service endpoint is a mechanism which connects the service, that is your Azure storage account, Azure Key Vault, and any other Azure service, to your network environment privately. OK? That is a service endpoint. Private endpoint. Private endpoint connects a subservice, a service within the service. So subservice with your machine, again, privately. When you create a private endpoint, a network card is created just for that subservice. And when you create a network card, of course, that network card will also have a private IP address. So imagine your subservice have its own private IP address which can talk with your machine. OK, let's do that. It will help you to understand this situation. So I will create a service endpoint with VM1, and I will create a private endpoint with VM2. So in VM1, you should be able to see the container and file share and everything. It should work. But in VM2, I will create a private endpoint with container, not with file share. So over here, your file share access should be gone. But your container access, the data inside your container, should be visible. So let's do it. OK, let's start with service endpoint. So you will search for service endpoint policy first. Yeah, you click on it. And this is where you will create a policy. Policy is nothing. This is a place where you define what you want to connect to what. right? So you want to define your architecture. So look here, I will select my subscription, I will select my resource group, and I will give it a name. I will call it Demo Service Endpoint, SEP, in Canvas Central. Next, this is the main part. What is your resource you want to connect with? You can also have aliases, but we don't have to worry about this. Let's worry about the actual resource, not the shortcuts. So you click on Add a Resource. Now, as you can see, you have your resource here. Microsoft Storage is your resource. What is the scope? Are you trying to connect, a specific, let's say, storage account inside your subscription? So if you say all accounts in a subscription and you select your subscription here, it will connect with all your storage account, basically. You can see everything. If you say all accounts or all storage accounts in resource group, well, demo, and it will connect to all the storage account in your demo. Means you want a wider scope, multiple storage accounts. I don't have it. I only have one storage account. So I can say, hey, connect it with only single account. This account is inside this subscription, and it is inside this resource group. And the name of this account is RSBNITA. That is the name of my storage account, basically. Click Add. That's it. My resource destination is added. Click Next, Next, Create, and it's done. Yeah, not the complete task though. Just one step is finished. Next step, you go to the network where you have the resources and where you want to establish the connection. So I will go to VM1 here, right? And make sure to check which network I'm using. I'm using 10.0.0.16. All right, so let's go to that specific network now, VNet1, 10.0.0.16. If you go under settings, you will find something called service endpoint. Forget about private, service endpoint. Click on it. Add service. Now you can see there are so many services. But for the storage account, you need to create a policy first. But for the rest of the services, you just select it and connect. So you can create a private connection with Key Vault, SQL, Enter ID, this is the old name, by the way, and so many more. I want storage. Service endpoint policy. This is my policy, which defines it defines your resource location, because you can have multiple resources here. That is why you create policies. Where do you want to connect this? To this subnet, not Bastion. I want to connect with subnet because my VM is over here. And add. Wait for it. All right, so it is done. And if you just refresh, you will see something here. There is a service endpoint with Microsoft storage, subnet is this, and status is succeeded because it is connected. So now if you go to storage account as well, click on it and go to security and networking. I'm interested in networking part. Go to networking. You will see that the public access is gone. Why? Why it says you can enable it, but right now it is not there? Because you have a service connection now. So you don't need public access because it makes no sense. You're exposing your network, your storage account to everyone, and then you also want to create a private connection. No, now I will protect it properly. So I will go to Manage, and I'll say Public Network Access, disable it. I don't need it, right? If I disable it, well, it will cut all the connection, right? So let's save it. Okay, the connection is gone. Now, Thankfully, I already have this address saved here because my public access is gone. So even me as global admin, if I go to container and open it, well, I cannot. This data is not accessible anymore. It's not public. So if I just close it and open it again, yeah, I can because maybe it is saved in my cache. Let me open a new instance of a browser. Let's go with Edge. Oops, I cannot. It's not accessible. Simple. So the first thing is clear that I cannot access it anymore. My storage account just became private. Now you go to your storage account, go to network, and make sure that your public network access is now disabled. All right, so now what if you don't want to completely disable the access to your storage account? Well, again, we'll go to manage. Instead of saying disable, again, we'll click on enable. Now, the only difference is when you say enable, don't say enable from all networks, that is the whole internet. Instead, we will click on enable from selected network. And this is, not this, actually, this is where we will select the network where we have our service endpoint configured. So add existing virtual network because it already exists. Select your subscription, select your network where the service endpoint is configured, and select that subnet. And click on add. Okay, and save it. Now, once you save it, now you can test it. So let's go to first my own machine. I cannot connect. Now let's go to this machine. Remember, this is in the cache. I will open an incognito window or private window. I cannot connect because this is VM2. Let's try VM1. Paste it, hit enter. Yes. So now only VM1 or all the virtual machine in that particular subnet can connect with my container and use it, as well as my file share because it's a service endpoint. I can connect to anything, right? The whole service. Now VM2, I cannot connect to the container. That is fine. What about file share? Well, I double clicked on it. It's just doing this and it says, nah, you cannot connect. Well, my connection is also gone, as you can see. So that was your service endpoint, connecting with the whole service. Yes, you still go through the public side of your Azure service, but it is still private. Okay, now let's move to private endpoints. To create a private endpoint with your virtual network, you go to the service and then go to, this is my service, go to networking and security, go to networking. Here you will see this option, private endpoints. It might be different, it might be in a different place in different resources or services. Private endpoint. You just click on create private endpoint and just follow the prompt. It's super straightforward. You select your subscription, you select your resource group, and you give this endpoint a name. I will call it demo private endpoint. Next, resource. I am doing this inside my storage account. So Microsoft already know that it is your storage account. And you can select what resource you want or what subservice you want to connect. I said file share, and I can proceed. But if you search for private endpoint from here, well, everything is same, but over there you also have to select the resource type, subscription resource, and then select your sub-resource. That's it. This is just Microsoft helping you. So file. This is your resource which you want to connect. Now, where do you want to connect it? I want to connect it to Which place? Oh, I almost missed it. That network is in France. VM2 is in France, so you have to be on the same place. Resource is all good. VNet2, subnet, perfect. And as you can see, a network card will be created specifically for this subservice, my file share. So I will say dynamically allocate IP address. I don't care. Just put an IP address. But let's say you want your service to have a static IP address. Well, you can also give a static IP address. I'm okay with dynamic. Now, Azure will also give a DNS name to this so that it can find with or it can resolve DNS query as well. But again, it's already done by Microsoft. Click Next and click Create. Now a private endpoint is being established. All right, so you can see private endpoint is almost there. So deployment is done. This will show me the green check mark any moment. So a virtual network link is being created. If I go back to virtual network, let's say, and go to VNet2 and scroll down to private endpoints, I will see a link there. Now, don't worry about this. This is private endpoint network policy. I'm not creating any specific policies for that, just a connection. All right, my deployment is done. Now let's go back to our VM2. Remember, I cannot connect with my file share. Well, let's try it again, and boom, you can connect with it. How about my container? Now, still no, because you're privately now connected with a subservice, that is file share. So that's the difference between connecting with the whole service, that is your storage account, and use everything inside it. See, you can open it, you can refresh this multiple times, it will work. Or connecting with a sub-service, just one service. So I hope private endpoints and service endpoint is also clear. You should practice it multiple times, and then you will remember it. It will become your muscle memory. Take care. All right, so in this video, we covered creation and configuration of NSG. We also saw how to view the effective NSG rules, especially for troubleshooting. Then we deployed Azure Bastion to securely connect with the virtual machine in our environment. Then we also saw how to set up service endpoints as well as private endpoints, and also the difference between both. Now, in the next video, we will cover name resolution and load balancing in Azure. When we talk about name resolution, I'm talking about DNS. And when I talk about load balancing, we will look at both public load balancing as well as internal, or you can say private load balancing. So make sure you don't miss the next video. Until then, take care.
Thank you for watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftacademy.com. www.netsoftacademy.com.